So I have this little area in my laundry room, and I've started growing asparagus from seed. And you can see this is just one of those indoor greenhouses that I've taken the plastic off. And this is where I start my seeds. Right now, we've got lots of individual asparagus growing, and then I have some that I need to transplant today. But I want to show you just how tall these guys actually are. They're just all flopped over inside each other. They're all self-contained nicely, but they're getting very, very long. Okay, I couldn't resist popping one of these out and seeing just how big it's grown since September when I planted the seeds. And I'm just going to try to stretch it out a little bit and see if, oh yeah, it's going all the way to almost to the top. It's definitely past the top shelf here. And it's just gathering energy from the light over the winter when I have extra space in my seed starting area. Tater Tot has to photobomb everything. Checking it out. So you can see we've got really good root development. And that's the goal. If we get in here, you can see got little asparagus growing. This asparagus most of it was started the beginning of September. Oh, look at that one. And I just have grow lights under here. And when they get out of control, I just come in and push them back. Now sometimes they do grow up through the cracks, and I have to carefully pull them down and kind of give them a smash. But they seem to be very, very happy in there and doing very, very well growing in my old 2-liter bottles. Happy New Year! It's a gorgeous day out here in South Carolina. I'm currently standing in the shade, but it is beautiful. The reason I chose to grow asparagus from seeds, one, I can select the variety. I am going to devote 2 of my garden beds, 2 out of 10, strictly to asparagus. So I want 4 varieties. 4 varieties that I can put in the beds and let them go and have them year after year after year. Because I'm going to be putting in 10 raised beds when I first move, I need to put a lot of my money into filling those beds and getting irrigation lines put in and all of that. So I don't want to buy crowns, but there's no reason that I can't use the cool season in my house to go ahead and get a head start on those seedlings. They can basically have an entire season to grow. If they do get too big for the containers, which is a possibility, so far the roots haven't wrapped around yet, but if they get too big for the containers, I can go ahead and move them outside, harden them off and all of that, and let them go dormant so they can stay in the containers, and that way when I move, I can just go ahead and take them with me, which is the goal when we get our property, we put in our own garden, that I'll have all of this asparagus that's ready to go in. I am growing a few extras just because I know some of them are going to be female and have fruit, which is totally fine. I won't keep those ones in the raised bed because the pugs might try to eat the fruit and it is poisonous. In fact, I think that they said that the berries can actually cause people to have allergic reaction just by touching them. So if I get any females that are producing fruit, I'm just going to go ahead and move them somewhere else on the property and keep my bed all males so that I'm not having a ton of berries drop in that spot. Well, now we've got hoot photobombing, but I like to grow in Pepsi bottles because there's plenty of room for root development. It's food grade, and I get to reuse them, and it makes me feel slightly better about my Pepsi addiction that I'm working on. But I just removed the wrapping to start off with. And I make a small cut just so I can get the scissors in and cut off the top. It's not difficult at all to cut through. And I'm left with this big deep container for good root development. I do need to put some drainage holes in. I'll do that next. These tops are actually particularly useful when you're germinating the seeds. They fit right in, so I just put the top on to help keep the moisture in until the seeds germinate, and then I go ahead and pop it off. So I'm out on a workbench and just using a tool. I bought this for like $10 on Amazon, but it just makes putting drainage holes in any plastic container super easy. It does smell pretty bad, but works really well and really fast. When I'm germinating the seeds, I usually put several seeds, sprinkle them into just one container. So this one should be several plants, and I need to up pot it and give them each a little bit more room so that their roots can continue to develop. For anybody that's never grown asparagus, you are supposed to wait about 3 years before actually harvesting to let those roots get fully developed, and then you can continue harvesting for 20 to 30 years. Okay, so I'm just going to gently break these apart. I find looking at roots very satisfying. And these guys look great. Pop them off to the side. Look at that big one. I actually grabbed a stick from the yard. You can use a pen, chopstick, whatever, but I make a hole. I want those roots to go down deep in this pot. Alternately, you can fill it like half away on its side and then try to fill in around the roots, but I found that this works just fine. Stick it in. I add a little bit more soil on the top just to kind of hold it in place. Tap it down just a little bit, water it in. Don't forget to water it in. And there we go. If you're interested in seeing how these turn out when we put them in our garden beds, or are interested in following our journey, please subscribe. This is just a fun baby hobby channel. I do really appreciate it though when people take the time to give me a like. Our property purchase and garden setup should be just around the corner. Thank you for watching.